Hello, everybody, and welcome to Work in Progress, the Alabama Talent Triad's first live event. Thank you for joining us. Today, we're going to be talking about the state of the workforce in Alabama. There's a lot happening in Alabama. People are unsure about what's happening in Alabama. People don't know where to find jobs in Alabama. So, we're here to help give you a little bit of insight to help guide you to find the resources you need and hopefully use the Alabama Talent Triad to help you get in touch with those resources, see what skills you have, see what opportunities are out there. There is a lot out there. I'm Brittany Odom. I'm over marketing here for the Alabama Talent Triad, and I am joined by Casey Taylor, our
Yeah.
community engagement specialist. And
hmm
Casey has a wonderful story because we found her through the triad. So if Casey can share a little bit about your journey before we go
Yeah.
into other things.
Thank you, Brittany, for having me on today. This is so historic for us. This is our first time doing this. Yay. But yeah, I'm Casey Taylor. I'm born and raised in the great state of Alabama. I'm from a little small town called Cortland, Alabama, which is like maybe 20 minutes from Decatur. It's on what we call Highway 20. Some may call it alternate 72, but okay. We call it Highway 20. It's a set of little bitty towns all close together, and we are known for having tickets. We give out tickets there, so I'm just warning you when you come through. We give out
Don't
tickets.
tease.
No, we're not gonna say we're good. We're good. But yeah, so came from a very small town, but loving town, and I started the educational journey back in 2002 when I went to community college at Calhoun Community College. I started just in the certificate program, CIS Office Administration, graduated with a certificate degree in May 2004 and decided that I wanted to further my education in computer information systems. And I went to the University of North Alabama, Royal Lions, and obtained my bachelor's degree in December 2007 with a degree in computer information systems, business technology management. Then I went into the workforce. A year later, August 2008, I started a temporary job in which I was chosen to help upgrade MacBooks at that time. We used backup drive, C drives, and we went around to different employees that had MacBooks, and we updated their computers. And I did that for 2 months, and then I went to help set up new computer systems for new employees that were working at Marshall Space Flight Center. And from there it was history. I started working at the tier one as a tier one help desk agent for several contracts. And I went from tier one to tier two support, still supporting NASA employees. I think it was like almost 10,000 employees that we had to service at the service desk. So I was on the what they call the end user side of technology. I was assisting customers with their computer issues when it was software related, and minor hardware issues that could be handled over the phone. And then I went on to get my master's start my master's in 2017 at the University of North Alabama again. And August 1st, 2020, I graduated with my master's, my MBA concentration in information technology. And so from there, I decided that I wanted to make a change, and I wanted to go from doing tech support. I did a little bit of administrative as well on a NASA contract, in which I was helping with credentialing. And that means helping people get their badges, their access when they were employed on our contract and working for NASA. So I got a chance to work with protective services at all the NASA centers. Eventually came back to the help desk to do, a little bit of what they call a queue management role, which was just really just choosing the tickets that and choosing the text that was best for the tickets and everything. I'm a lighter role, and I decided that I wanted to venture out into education. So I started to teach at the community college level, and now I'm working on my doctorate. And so I said, well, I wanted to, be more concerned about my education and finishing my degree and take a seat back. And now I substitute for K through 12. And I'm a community engagement specialist. And that happened by chance. I was looking for a new path or just looking for a job. Okay. Because I just wanted something that wasn't so stressful. But I just happened just to come up on the Alabama Talent Triad page. I actually thought it was part of Alabama Works or the unemployment site. And I was like, I don't know what this site is, but it said Alabama Talent Triad, so it's a part of Alabama. So it's a part of the Alabama workforce. So let me, let me just set up this account on the website, and I did. And I was like, what is a wallet? I'm like, do I have to pay to and didn't know at the time what it was all about. So I just did the normal thing like we do with all of these hiring sites. You put up your resume, you fill out the information, and walk away, right? You wait for the recommendations. But it was a little different this time because I actually received an email from the VP of the Alabama Talent Triad. So that conversation was like, what? You're actually reaching out to me? And I'm not, having to wait to have this formal interview thing. It was so just laid back. And I love that part. When an employer can reach out to you, say, hey, let's have a talk. I saw your resume and I think you'll be great for this particular position. And the rest has been history. I've been working for the Alabama Talent Triad since the beginning of this year. So I am enjoying the journey.
Yeah, and that's what makes the triad unique is that you're matched with opportunity based on skills, not
Yeah.
just based on what titles you've held previously, what jobs you've held previously. It's about what you can do and matching you with opportunities that matches that.
Yeah.
Just to get into a little bit of what's happening in Alabama, just some good things, right?
Yeah.
The work participation rate has risen by 20,000 in the past year. That's a big deal even
Yeah.
though unemployment went up slightly, but you have to realize there's a lot of layoffs that were happening that's really out of control for the state across the country, really.
Yeah.
That's been happening a lot. But overall, still to grow by 20,000, that's a big deal.
Yes.
Um, yes. And
That
so a lot of, oh, go ahead.
that's a very big deal because you can't be afraid of the numbers because we know they fluctuate from month to month, and a lot of repositioning is going on right now. Yeah, we don't, you just have to roll with it, I guess, with the numbers. But Alabama is doing very good. They have a lot of jobs open right now.
16,000 open jobs in Alabama right now.
Yes.
106,000. And that's in manufacturing, automotive, advanced manufacturing, IT, technology, your field, cybersecurity,
Yes, cybersecurity.
aviation, logistics, and right now the maritime industry. If you don't know what maritime is, that
Mhm.
is submarines, ships, naval, the ports, all of that. It's all tied
Mhm.
into maritime. They're in need too.
Mhm.
So you have to look at what your transferable skills are and what you're
Yeah.
good at and see if you can pivot. And that's where the Alabama Talent Triad comes in. You go in, you enter your
Mhm.
experience and your credentials,
Yes.
skills match with opportunity, and match with some of these 116,000 open jobs that's in
Mhm.
Alabama. And just for the record, Alabama has been raising their pay, not the minimum wage, but employers in Alabama have been vigilant in raising their wages to be competitive with the rest of the country.
Mhm.
So inflation is happening. They're trying to account for inflation to
Yeah.
help the Alabamians
Yeah.
live better, have a better standard of living, a better quality of life, and
Yeah.
that's what's most important as well.
And that's where it's all boiling down to. That's where it's coming to is a skills based um hiring, from the employer side. They're looking for ones that have the actual skill set, not just the education alone. Just to say, for example, if you've been working in the small business with your family and you've been doing that since you were young, you've been around that all your life, and you may not have the opportunity to go to higher education, but you have that experience. You had to do the, accounting for your mom and pop business. Well, you can put that on your resume at the Alabama Talent Triad, on that website. You can put in have those skills listed under your profile, and they do count. It's not just saying something; they count. They matter to this new system that the Alabama Talent Triad has. So it's knowing to thy own self be true as well. If you know that's what your specialty is, why not be able to be seen as a person that should be able to be interviewed for those types of positions, whether you were able to get the 2 year, the 4 year degree, or the certificate degree. And it's good to
Yeah.
have those as well. But some people were not afforded it, due to life. And life happened, for me before I went to Calhoun. So I tell students all the time, when I substitute 9 years, I kind of played around nine
Yeah.
years before I started really getting it together, because I had responsibilities. So, but why not, be able to set up a profile on your skills, not just education, and you can be proud of that. You can say,
Hmm.
hey, I've been around this, I've been around accounting. Now I know how to do checks and balances now. I know my debits and my credits. I'm not no accountant. So accountants out there, don't get me.
Yeah.
I know how to
Well,
do a little bit.
skills-based hiring doesn't omit the need for a degree, which is a
Right.
common misconception when we talk about skills-based hiring. It's really
Right.
just loosening up the degree requirements where the job can really be taught. And let's be honest, a lot of people
Hmm.
learn on the job. I did
Yes.
not go to school for marketing. I learned by being put in positions to
That's it.
learn on the job, and I just happened to grow into it. And there's a lot of opportunities for people to grow into roles where they can be taught on the job the skills needed to do the job proficiently. And some people end up loving it and finding their passion by being in those positions. And also, just from my experience, when you have somebody in a position where they haven't been before and you give them an opportunity to learn, there's a need to do well. They want to be able to prove themselves. And if you give them the
Yes.
opportunity to, they will show up and rise to the challenge 9 times out of 10. So giving opportunity to people who are hungry for it. I mean, that's an ideal candidate. You want a candidate that's really hungry.
That's hungry for it and skilled in it. Because if
Hmm.
you know, just going back to the accounting situation, if you know about investments and stocks because you had to help your family business, that say a lot about you, that rather than someone that may be just freshly, you know, coming into this field, may not have as much experience as you do, because experience is very important. So it's just matching you in a more efficient way with your career, that you don't have to
Yeah.
try to figure it out so much. And that's what I like about the Alabama Talent Triad, because I didn't know what my next step was. As you heard my story, I was doing IT support. I've done credentialing, teaching, now community engagement specialist with the Alabama Talent Triad. So, you know,
Yeah.
you never know. It's non-linear, but those are skills I'm picking up from each job that's making me into the professional that I am today.
And just
So
to piggyback off of your story for being an accountant, the
mhm.
bank teller, right?
Yeah.
A fast food worker can pivot into being a bank teller because there are transferable skills there, right? A
Yes.
fast food worker knows how to handle cash money and transactions. They know
That's
how to be accountable for that. They
mhm.
know how to talk to customers. They
That's right.
know how to de escalate. Those are things that are needed for a bank teller that's face to face with customers on a day to day. They already have those skills. They just need an opportunity to transfer them into something else. And we want people to feel pride in their work. So knowing that they already
Mhm.
have those skills to transfer into another industry, that's a
Yeah.
big. just have to be able to give somebody a shot and don't shoot the messenger.
Mm,
But for employers specifically, like for open roles, sometimes you're missing out by trying to find the perfect candidate. The perfect
yes,
candidate may not exist. You need a
that's right.
candidate that's able to grow. And so
Exactly.
you need to find growers, not perfection,
That's right.
growers.
Those who are, just ready to learn, have that passion within them. They love what they do. They come to work ready, and just want that information, just want that knowledge. You can do a lot with a person like that. They just, and they get it. They get the job. They just get it. It's just like it's natural to them. They know what to do in certain situations. So when you learn that customer service, because I'm sure everyone has had their encounter with the fast food industry at some point, because
I've
they're,
worked a drive-through. I've worked a drive-through as a teenager. Yeah.
yeah, as a teenager, Dairy Queen, Town Creek, Alabama. That was the only real restaurant in that area. So hey, that was big for us, back in the day. So, but those skills, it taught me, time management, organization skills, multitasking skills, customer service skills, how to, like you said, how to handle the money, cashier, being a cashier, it teach you how to be quick on your feet, and you definitely, that's transferable skills that you can use in the banking industry. So,
Yeah.
hello, employers. You looking
And
for
to
good
mold,
tellers?
yeah.
Yeah.
And easy to mold future employees are those who are fresh and
Mhm.
looking for opportunities. So right now, Alabama has launched a new program for high schoolers to get a vocational
Yes.
diploma. So
Yes.
it's a little different from a traditional high school diploma. Students in their junior and senior year can
Mhm.
opt to remove some courses that may not be considered core education anymore, elective courses, to study a skilled trade. Skilled trades are coming back, y'all. Skilled
Yeah.
trades are coming back. And
Yeah.
after graduation or upon graduation, those students are getting certificates that are relevant to the industry that they're studying for in those last 2 years so that they can get a job if they don't think that college is the route for them. And we know everybody doesn't want to go to college.
That's
Everybody
right.
doesn't think that they're an academic, but they may be
Mhm.
good with their hands. They may be able to build something.
Right.
They may have other skills. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words here. But
It's the
there's
truth.
opportunity to take these young students who are interested in learning something and really
Mhm.
guide them and mold them into future leaders in
Yeah,
trade.
that's true. And, you know, a lot of times people get a little frustrated when they're even thinking about their next big move. What am I gonna do? What should I be doing? And sometimes I go back a lot of times when I'm talking to young people about this assessment they gave us in high school. And it was to see what kind of mindset that you had. Was it technical? Where was your specialty in? And I ended up having a technical mind. So I was more prone from that assessment they gave us in high school. I kind of knew that I would do well in more technical type jobs. And that it wasn't a lie. It was the truth. That assessment was because I do have a technical mind. And anybody being around tech people, we're very we just got to keep going until it works. We just got to find a way to make that thing happen. Uh, a lot of times we critical thinkers and everything. So in high school, those assessments that they give you to try to help you to find yourself, it's not for you to just to throw it away. Whatever the results is, look at the results of that assessment, that skills assessment, and see where your specialty is, and you can kind of build up off of that. And it may be you're just really good at engineering.
Yeah,
You just may be really good at that, and electrical engineering. Or just electronics, learning electrical trades while you're in high school. They need
there's
people. They're
there's money
constantly.
to, yeah.
I mean, that's money. and you really have to be skilled at that, because that's nothing, that you really want to mess with, or you're gonna find yourself on the wrong side of life if you don't know what you're doing with electricity. So it's not for everyone, but there's a lot of young people that may be just good at it. And so with that vocational diploma, that's not saying that you're not going to go on to higher ed. They're just saying that you got something that you can maintain yourself for right now until you want to do something different. You know, you may say, okay, I want to do electronics right now. You may want to say, okay, well, I may need to go back to school and get my associate's degree in business because I want to open my own business. You know, it could be that new, electric company that specializes in, you know, doing houses and apartments and big corporate things. So you may need those that information from business administration degree can help you out in that way. And so you just really just getting your skills together first, and then you can see where you need to go when it comes down to having the educational side. You know what you really need. Because
Yeah,
sometimes we do education first, and we really don't know what we want to do when we get out of college. We just know we
a lot
have
of
the degree. You know, so I like that. I like that they're giving the young people the opportunity to be true to themselves and operate in their gifts and their calling. And then you get that working for you. Then you go on to higher ed and get what you really need from it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
if you can't get a vocational degree, I mean, a vocational diploma because you've already graduated from high school and you haven't had the opportunity to take a skills assessment, what you can do in the Alabama Talent Triad is enter any small projects that you've done. If you are the party planner for your family's events, family reunions, retirement parties, kickbacks, you're an event planner, you're a project
Mhm.
manager, right?
Yeah.
You handle logistics for that. Those are skills and those are relevant. You need to think about everything that
Yeah.
you do. It's not just what you do professionally, it's
Mhm.
everything that you do. Do you do DIY projects around the house? What have you done? Those are skills and those are relevant because you can use those to make money somewhere else. Don't
Yeah.
count yourself out. Don't limit yourself to how you think about work. You
So
do
true.
work outside of work all the time. That's why we're always so tired. We're always working.
Yeah.
But you can put those into the talent triad, and skills will associate with those experiences that you have. And
Exactly.
that will help you match to other opportunities that you never thought about. Look at Casey. Look at
Mhm.
Casey. She is the IT educator, and
Yeah.
she is here for community engagement because there are skills that are transferable from the
Yeah.
work that she's done as an educator that
Mhm.
translates into how she communicates with the community and the
Yes.
impact that she's able to provide. So don't count yourself out.
Mm.
Use your wallet. The wallet is literally just for all of your skills, your resume. You can build your resume, the resume builder tool in the Alabama Talent Triad. As soon as you enter all of your skills into your LER, all of your experiences into your LER,
Mm.
it will populate to your resume and you can filter it based on what kind of resume you want to build if you want to focus for a particular role. And you can
Mhm.
have more than one version of your resume in the talent triad. And once you just hit that toggle to make it public for employers in the triad to view, employers will reach out to you and you
Yeah.
will match with employers and opportunities will match with you too. So when you log back in, you'll see what recommended
Mm.
opportunities are there for you. If you
So
want to learn a new skill, we have every credential associated with all of the community colleges and
true.
universities in Alabama to help you figure out what learning path is best for you and what's available to you locally. So,
Yeah.
if you want to study engineering, like Casey said, or any kind of healthcare program, if you want to start small with one course, you can look at what's needed for one course. What does this one course at this school need from me? And then there's stackable skills. So you'll see if you want to use this class to go to a different learning path or a different opportunity. Say let's throw out phlebotomy, right?
Mhm.
Phlebotomy, drawing blood, right? You just want to take the course. You can use that to become a medical assistant. You can use that to start your LPN. It
Mhm.
goes somewhere. Though that small micro credential, that small learning can branch out into a bigger opportunity. And the Alabama Talent Triad helps guide you to those larger opportunities for your career. And I'm plugging here. And there's resources for scholarships within the Triad as well. There's so much. If you go to our website, everything is in the bottom footer. It's a full menu of
Mm-hmm.
everything that we have to offer. And you can search and explore to your heart's content. I
Yeah.
suggest that you log in and create an account so that you can store and save and like and come back to a lot of the things that are catching your eye. It's really brand new and transformative. So people are still learning about what a LER is, a learning and employment record, what a digital wallet is for your education. It's not like your Apple Pay or Google Wallet. I swear it's
That's
not. You
right. That's right. It's not
it
like
is
you have
for
to
your
pay. It's not
education.
asking you to pay for anything. And
No, it's
another
not.
good thing about it is that when you have like certifications like in information technology and the computer science field, that we are always having to um test for something. I'll put it like that. We always having to be certified in different areas. I don't care if it's Excel, Word, Microsoft Certified Professional, Cisco, and so many others.
AWS,
Yes,
yeah.
the AWS.
Terraform.
I mean, in the tech field, I am so serious. We are always learning. We always have to because technology changes so quickly. So we always have to get certified in something through CompTIA. It's
Mhm.
subcomp, which is Test Out, Certiport, and all Cisco and all these different ISEC too. I think now for cybersecurity and all these other things, those credentials can be pulled over. You can be embedded for in your profile.
Yes.
That is the wonderful part of the Alabama Talent Triad for me is that I could actually, you can self attest because there is something
Validate
that
your skills. Mhm.
validate. As long as you have your certificate ID number and all of that, you can just put it all in there and you can pull a lot of those credentials in automatically. And then they're going to have it where it's going to recommend credentials for certifications for you to think about going and study for and taking the test for. So it's kind of it's thinking for you a little bit and saying, I think that you may need to think about this certification. Have you thought about maybe getting into ethical hacking? You may want to do your CEH. It's going to take a lot of the load off of you saying, what do I need to do next? You know,
Yeah.
just log into the Alabama Talent Triad and look around. I
And that
love,
validated credential helps with employers too. It gives
yes,
you a leg up. What Casey was talking about with the validated skills. When you put in your
yes.
credentials into the triad and it's validated and you get that validated check mark, employers see that you are who you say you are. Some people on LinkedIn can lie and say that they have this credential or this degree. There is no way to fact check it without doing a background check. But in
Mm-hmm.
the Alabama Talent Triad, there's a validated sticker that validates your
Yes.
badges automatically. And with our credential registry, we're linked to all of the Alabama educational institutions. So whatever institution you've got your credential from in Alabama, they're going to validate it. And
That's
that builds ethos with the employer because the employer knows when they look at your profile and resume, you have that validated badge next to your credentials, you are the
mhm.
real deal.
That's
That's
it.
important.
That is very important. The recommended jobs feature I really like that too because you can have so many different resumes within the Alabama Talent Triad system, but you can choose the one that you want to use and you can get pull up recommended jobs just to cater around that particular resume that you may, be looking for jobs in. So if you say you have your resume centered on office administration, and then you may have skills that may be teaching, you have a resume that's centered on your teaching, skills and everything. You can do recommended jobs for both resumes and see what you qualify for, and I know a lot of people say, well, and we really probably just got get to the point of this. A lot of people say, well, there's LinkedIn, there's
Mm-hmm.
Career Builder, there's
ZipRecruiter.
Zip Recruiter, all of these different ones. But what about being in a system that's very sophisticated using
Yeah.
artificial intelligence as well. Very sophisticated system, a newer system that can help match you with jobs that really make that you're really match a great match for. You don't have to go
I'm glad
through
you brought
all of
that up.
it. Yeah. Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
have to do a lot of digging for jobs. It's saying, hey, this is you
Yeah.
based upon the information that, hey, and you're like, I looked in, I said, who would have thought I would be dealing with the community like this as an engagement specialist? But it makes sense, because of the things I've done in the past in my career, in my professional
Yeah.
career, and even outside of my professional, in my personal life, dealing with people and everything. So, the Alabama Talent Triad just services so many parts of you that you don't have to worry about doing yourself. Literally for employers, I really hope they get in the front of this. We're really trying to get everyone to get in front of of this new platform. Go ahead and start using the platform now, because I'm telling you, it's going to take off and everybody's
Yeah.
going to be using it. So we're trying to get everybody on board now early, so especially employers, because now, doing you're posting for your jobs, the jobs that you have available, it's going to be much easier for you, because the Alabama Talent Triad really has so much data. It really just it's seamless to do a job posting. It's just a click of the mouse, literally, and boom, your posting is ready. Somewhere
For
it's
employers, the
just
job
for
description
employers.
generator.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. It's so efficient. It's so fast. So it's cutting down a lot of time that human resources need to create a job posting. So the Alabama Talent Triad, to me, it's just fabulous. It's great, a great tool for employees and for people, job seekers and employers.
It is. And you brought up
Yes.
a great Casey when talking about the differentiator for the Alabama Talent Triad compared to LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, Career Builder. Those
Hmm.
platforms literally match you with opportunities based on your current job title
Yeah.
or your current credential that you've added to your profile. That's very limiting. That's very limiting on what you can do. And if you're really looking for a job, and some people are just looking for a job to get a job, whether that's in a career or just to have a job. It's limiting what you can do. In the
Hmm.
talent triad, there is no limit because your skills, you have so many. You have so many. You have all the places you can go. Dr. Seuss,
Yeah.
right? All the places you there are so many
Yes.
opportunities to pivot and try something different. You may step into something that you end up loving that had never crossed your mind. So have an open mind
Mhm.
and give the talent triad the opportunity.
Right. We talked a little bit about that a couple of days ago, being open to the pivot. Be
Yeah,
open to the pivot that comes into your life. You may be trying to stay in this one little area of your life, of your professional career, and you do not know that you have so many other opportunities available to you. That's the reason why we're talking to you today, because we know what the Alabama Talent Triad can do for you. It did that for me, and you see it on the screen now. This is our website. This is the Alabama Talent Triad website. All you do is just click on sign up for free. Okay?
right,
And
right
yes,
here. But if you
it's
want
straight
to
to the
access more resources, just
Mhm.
our bottom menu is full of resources. We have trainings to help you learn how to navigate the platform. We have apprenticeship sponsors you can look at, opportunities you can look at for jobs, skills based jobs, what
Mhm.
credentials, when I was talking about what courses are available that you can look at to see what learning path you want to take. That's all in here.
Yes.
There's so much available at your fingertips to take advantage of in order to improve your quality of life and
Yeah,
get the career you want, get a job that is fulfilling. I mean, there's nothing to lose by joining at all.
that's it. That is so true. So it really just take you now. It takes you taking just a few minutes of your time to set up your Alabama Talent Triad wallet. Learn just click on the trainings. They have trainings for employers, student, family, teacher training, webinars, even custom training. You can click on sign up and take those free trainings to, so that as an employer, you can really get a full understanding of what the Alabama Talent Triad is, what it does, and how it can help you with, finding the top tier talent for the from the state of Alabama. Yay! From the state of Alabama. You don't have to look anywhere else. Your talent is right here in the good old state of Alabama. And I'm a little biased because I'm born and raised here. So yeah, the talent is here. I see the graduation. I see them. The talent is here. We don't want to lose our young people. They're having to move to other states because they don't think that they will be seen because they're level. And I want to talk to them for just a second. If you are a new graduate from high school, from college, don't take the Alabama Talent Triad platform lightly. We just talked about how things are going to the skill base, but you still have to, you need that educational component as well, and and getting your experience. But I hear you. I know that it's hard to get the experience at first, but look, you've worked jobs, you've worked work study jobs, okay? And you need to use the Alabama Talent Triad to set up your profile, set up your resume so those skills can shine. You think of it, I may not have all the education, but I do specialize in certain areas because maybe you've been working in retail for 3 or 4 years. Customer service, skills, you know, um, it may even
And
lead you to management.
yeah, and depending on if they handled any logistics, that's a skill too.
Mhm.
When it comes to the shipments coming in, where you helping to manage that. That's like, don't count yourself out. You really have to think about all that you have to offer. You have more to offer than you think you do. But Casey, we've gone over time a little bit, and I thank you so much for joining me on our first ever LinkedIn Live. And I encourage anybody who's watching to join us again next week, and we'll discuss transferable skills. Thank you for joining. If you have any questions, just visit us at www.alabamatalenttriad.com and you can learn more. We have so much on our website, resources available to you to learn more about what's going on, not only with the triad, but what's going on in Alabama and what resources are accessible for you. So
Yes.
thank you.
See you next week.